Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. We're going to talk about the betting pool. Apparently there's offshore betting for the next Disney CEO.
Wow. That's funny to me.
So I don't know. I just have to wonder if it's Disney's going to go bust regardless of who they pick, because I don't even know. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know who you would put in charge of Disney at this point.
I don't either. And the people that they're going with, the two I thought that would be in the running the most, and I don't think either one are good. They're a good fit personally. I think one more than the other, but I don't think either one are.
I think at this point Disney has been compromised and its culture has been changed in such a way that an internal candidate is going to be more Bob Iger, and if you bring an external candidate in, I think they're either going to get a lot of resistance or they're going to be from the wrong industry. They're going to go get some video game person or something to come in, and I think that's also going to be a disaster. Actually,
well, I definitely think internal is a bad idea, because it's going to be like Chapek all over again, where Iger thinks that he is still in charge, and they're your mouthpiece. Yeah.
Until Iger's like gone, like see ya, Bob. You're putting you on an island somewhere so you can't interfere with anything. Then I think Disney's always going to have people. Plus, you're going to have board members. You have the people that are entrenched, the people that were around Bob Iger. I mean, the company culture has changed. The reason that, in my opinion, Michael Eisner was successful when he came in was that there were still people around that worked with Walt and had Walt's ideals, and those are all gone. All those people are gone. So I don't know. Let's talk about it before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
So this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. The latest offshore betting odds for the next Disney CEO. All long shots not created equal. All right. So they're talking about the odds. They said the successor search is underway again. I don't think he's going to leave unless they push him out. They said it's all crapshoot because Tom Staggs was a shoo-in.
Yeah, you never know. It's weird because Chapek, he left. Well, who left first? It was Staggs left before that when he realized he wasn't going to get anywhere. Then Chapek got put in. Then Kevin Mayer left because he thought he was going to be put in.
Right.
And then it's what happens. It's always, you don't know. You'd think rational things would win out, not necessarily the case.
So they went to betonline.ag, an offshore betting place, for a decidedly outside LA perspective on who will sit in the TV and film industry's Iron Throne. Gamblers think differently. Betonline.ag handicapped the race through the usual research. They said the internal candidates are easily accessed, and after that, it's really about research on who created hits that go beyond the obvious mainstream. Said the brand manager. This space is now so competitive that we need to deep dive into current trends while keeping Disney's brand focus front of the house. I don't even know. I don't even know who you'd bring in at this point. Actually, the one I think who would have done the best, at least from a creative standpoint, was John Lasseter. But I don't think he had the business acumen
I don't think he would have worked as a CEO. Sorry, I just don't.
You don't think he would? Well, that's what I'm saying. I think on the creative end, I think he would have been great, but I don't think he would have had the, he wasn't. You're right. He's not really CEO material.
No, I don't see it. Sorry. And plus, they're riot now because he's, person non grata. So.
Yeah. So it's a bet. Mason knows his odds have been off before. So have industry analysts whom Mason believes he can out handicap. The reason I believe a bookmaker is better. If we're wrong, we lose money. Experts don't. So yeah, they're not gonna bet on.
Well, who are they betting? Who do they think is the lead?
Per Bet Online.
People want to know. They don't care about the other shit.
Well, this is what we're building up to. Basically, the reason that the Hollywood Reporter is listening to this guy is we literally will lose money if we're wrong. Per Bet Online, the front runner for the next Disney CEO has not changed, even if her political capital has. Dana Walden, co-chair of Disney Entertainment, is an obvious choice and has seemingly been positioned as a shoo-in, but
that would be a bad decision.
It would be a terrible decision.
Dana Walden was the one. Do I think that she'd probably be getting? Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Because when they went running back, when you heard all the expose about behind the scenes drama with Chapek and crew, the one that kept going to meet Iger and try to talk him into coming back was Dana Walden, because she's one of his neighbors. She's also like BFFs with Kamala Harris, which is one of the reasons the ABC debacle happened, and stuff like that. She's also one of the ones that wouldn't take certain shows because they were too white.
Yeah, she literally said,
Yeah, she's definitely on that whole far leftist, pushing agenda bullcrap, line. She also doesn't have any experience with the theme parks or anything. Her experience, as far as I know, her experience has been in film and TV, and I think she handles the TV aspect where the other guy, that Bergman, handles the film aspect.
Yeah. If Dana Walden gets put in, it's over for Disney. I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, I mean, it's already like Disney's already in decline, but like if she gets put in, that is it.
She'll get put in because she's BFFs with one of the BFFs with him, and she's got tits. I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah. I mean, they're because then they can
first female president, CEO of Disney, first female CEO of Disney.
Yes, that's exactly what it'll be. They can scream it from the rooftops. We've got the first female, and actually, they could put her in, and then Bob Iger can still pull the strings.
Yeah, they live in the same neighborhood apparently, according to the reports.
Yeah, he'd be like Wilson from Home Improvement. He'd just be like over the fence and just be like, "Hey, here's what you should do." So I'm still the
tell me your
the
problems
shadow
so
CEO.
I can tell you your solutions. Yeah,
right.
Which also, ironically, was an ABC show.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, they're saying they think she's the top contender. Walden and Harris are longtime friends. They think that actually could hurt her though in the new Trump era. They said in the Trump presidency, a known Harris pal in Cinderella's castle could be a problem in the Oval Office. Have you been monitoring the first 100 days? It's not silly to think that Disney has enough headaches with Republican lawmakers at the state level who needs a beef with the feds. All right, so they're saying they do believe that Dana Walden is the top.
Well,
top
that
choice.
would be dumb.
I think it would be terrible. And this one I would have said a couple of years ago it would have been great, but not so much now. Josh D'Amaro, Disney Parks chairman, is just ahead of Jimmy Pitaro, the chairman of ESPN.
ESPN, yeah.
Yep, makes sense.
But I thought Pitaro said he wasn't interested in it.
I think that's what he said. I think you're right. I think he did say. But he said it makes sense to be close, even if it didn't work out with Venue. Yeah, Venue, that whole thing. Nor the last
they're in
time.
trouble for that one too.
Yep. Last time Iger named a Parks guy, Bob Chapek, as a successor.
Yeah.
All hell broke loose.
That's what I was thinking too. I don't think they're going to pick him for no other reason because of what happened with Chapek. But Chapek might have been okay had they let him do his job. It sounds like, I mean, I don't like Bob Chapek, cheapskate, whatever you want to call him. I didn't like him either because he was in the position D'Amaro was in, and he kept cutting corners and stuff, and people did not like him. And I think when he got in, he was never going to be the ideal choice. I don't think he ever was going to do great. That being said, he was also sabotaged too, if we're being fair. I do not think D'Amaro is, at this point in time, CEO material. No, but I also don't think that Walden is either. I think she just has tits.
I think D'Amaro has a heart for the parks. I think he understands the parks. I don't think he's allowed to do what he would like to do. And I think he's just playing along because he has to.
But they're also banking heavily on Disney Plus, and they're trying to do films and shows and gaming and all that. And he doesn't have, a lot of that background. So they both are lacking in something. But the difference is that she's got boobs.
They talk about Alan Bergman, the other Disney boss.
He's a movie guy. Movies.
Mm-hmm. He comes with a much longer Disney tenure. Walden, she was basically acquired. She came with Fox.
Yeah, she came with Fox. Yes.
And he has CFO experience. So I'm gonna be honest, because Bergman's been there for a while. I would actually probably, of these candidates, I would say he's probably the most qualified.
But I don't think qualifications matter. I mean, because you never hear anything about him.
If he does her old man
all you ever hear about in relation to this job is either Josh D'Amaro or Dana Walden. You only ever hear about those two, and everybody debates those two and whether or not they should be in. And I don't think either one actually should be CEO, especially Walden. But yeah, again, these are all dudes, and there's one woman.
Yeah.
If you don't, but you're just anti-woman, even though there's a lot of women in higher up positions. CFO was a woman for a long time. They have a lot of presidents and stuff like that. They're women. I just want someone qualified, and I just don't think she necessarily is. I think she has her own personal agenda, and I think it's going to be more of the same. And I don't think that's the last thing they need right now.
Yeah, but they're saying Walden 2-1. Like
Probably, I agree. I mean, I think that's probably what they're going to go with. Do I think that's a wise decision? Hell no. And I think they're only doing it because she's a woman. That's the only reason why.
I think it would be an absolute disaster to put her in. Plus, the fact that she came over from Fox 5 years. I mean, just the fact that she made a poor business decision. She said they passed on pilots because they weren't inclusive enough. What if that was your biggest hit? Because, we just talked about Home Improvement. Mm-hmm. Well, Home Improvement was a pretty white show, right? But it was a huge hit for ABC,
Right.
So how many Home Improvements did she pass over because we didn't have enough lesbians in the show? You know what I'm saying?
Right, or not, it was too white or whatever.
Or too white or whatever.
And we also have the whole debacle with Harris, and there's the questions that, she's one of her BFFs, and then all the weird stuff that happened with the stuff that happened at ABC at the time. And I just think that, but I also know that she's up Iger's ass, and she's very much so. And she's a woman. That's what it is. It's going to come down to, because we need a woman, because we haven't had a woman CEO yet. And, we're going to try to win over women by putting a CEO as a woman in. And do we mention she's a woman? Because she's a woman. And they'll do it whether or not she's qualified, just because.
Yeah.
She's friends with political figures, and she's a woman.
I think it's a huge mistake. Just beyond I don't care what her gender is, just the fact that she was out there saying they passed on quality TV shows because they weren't inclusive enough. I'm like, well, then you have to look back at the history of your most successful shows and be like, well, we can't do this one. We can't do this one. I mean, Cheers is out of the question. We can't do Friends. We can't do, you know what I'm saying?
Well, some of those weren't ABC, but yeah.
But I'm just saying in general, Home Improvement was a good example, but I'm saying, freaking Roseanne, The Connors, that was ABC. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying in general, you look at the history of sitcoms, and you would disqualify a huge portion of sitcoms because they didn't meet your current year inclusion standards. And you could go the other way and be like, well, this is a predominantly black show. Well, you're going to say there's not enough white folks in it? I mean, what are you going to do? Sanford and Son doesn't have enough women. I don't know. So yeah,
okay, fine, because one can do parks and some of the other stuff related to the company on that end, and the other one, an international stuff in that, and then the other one could do movies and TV. Let's do co-CEO then.
I think you need to break. I'm gonna be honest. I think Disney needs to be split up. I actually don't disagree with that. The one investor group that said that Disney needed to be. I didn't agree with the way they wanted to split the company, but I think that the company is into too many things.
I don't think the company could survive with being split up, because when one's down, the other one saves it.
Right,
It's too precarious. But I do think that, okay, fine, let's just have two CEOs then, co-CEOs, because and one can handle the entertainment aspect, and one can handle the theme park aspect and the international aspect, and then go from there. And because I don't think either one of these guys are qualified enough around the whole way around to be in charge.
Well, Netflix did it. They had co-CEOs for the longest time. I mean, you can't.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, that's split the difference, because they each have their strengths, but the problem with Disney is, because the way it's set up is that, now they have all this. They did have just the movies, and they had the parks. The parks were the big thing, but now they have Disney Plus, and they have the movies, and they have, now we're going into gaming and all the other crap, I think. And then you have the whole theme park thing, and the international stuff, and the merchandising stuff, and all that tomorrow comes from, for the experiences and the merchandise and stuff. They neither one have enough on their own, so make them both CEOs, and just each have to be part of that, whatever department they be good at, because you can't be down on either side at this point in time without going way down, because Disney's so on the fine line as it is.
Now, this is interesting. They said that most of their bets are, most of the best candidates, in their opinion, are internal candidates. They said that outside the company, they're looking at Ted Sarandos from Netflix. That he's actually a favorite.
Actually, I could see that, but I don't know if he's even in the running.
He said that he would rather run Saturday Night Live than run Disney.
That's what I thought. I thought he said he didn't want anything to do with it.
I mean, Netflix.
But money talks, but
money talks. But he was the head of Netflix. The guy's. I mean, seriously, you get to a point where the money doesn't even matter anymore. I mean, it's just like I got so many zeros in my bank account. Like, what the hell? You know, like
And at that point, it's another situation like Walden, where it's just like he's got a big background, and you might touch upon games and stuff somewhat, but theme parks, no.
So this is yeah, that's the thing. Like, but to be honest, Netflix has become the Disney for this generation, right? I mean, they've really, a lot of the stuff that they're putting out there has more cultural impact. I think that a lot of the stuff Disney's doing. The only stuff that really has any cultural impact from Disney at this point is the stuff that they bought.
Yeah, pretty much. And then that they're destroying.
Yeah, and they're destroying it. So this is interesting. It said the argument for Sarandos to be interested goes sort of like this. Ted has already proven everything that can be proven as co-CEO, again, co-CEO of Netflix, and that co-CEO thing could bother him. Sarandos once shared that title with Reed Hastings, now shares it with Greg Pierce. Basically, if you come over to Disney, we'll let you run the whole thing, Ted.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Netflix has co-CEOs, and they're kicking Disney's ass.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, the best option, if you have to pick one of those two, would be pick them both.
They said on some level, Disney has to be attractive to him. It has the IP that Netflix has thus far been unsuccessful in building, tons of it. And Disney
Except
has
it's in
real
the
parks.
gutter.
Yeah, that's right. Disney has real parks, not mall space. Disney's future is dependent on being Netflix at its own streaming game. Why not be the CEO who does that and not as the co-CEO who thwarts it? Actually, that would be kind of interesting if it's like, well, fine, if you're going to make me co-CEO, I'm going to go to Disney and I'm actually going to out Netflix.
I know, but the thing is, I would argue that they're kicking everybody's ass because they're co-CEOs. Because I think it's too big. One person can't do it all. And I think Disney's, as far as like what they cover, is bigger. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a much bigger thing.
But
they also
probably pick Walden because she's,
I think
she's
she
got
would be
tits.
terrible. But they also said the Paramount guy, global guy, Brian Robbins is one. The CEO of Electronic Arts, I think that's
the EA one they were mentioning before. But after what happened to EA, I doubt that highly.
No, David Zaslav. What?
Yeah, why would you let Zaslav anywhere near anything without destroying it?
He burnt down Warner Brothers. What the hell? Let's see. They have James Gorman, the former Morgan Stanley chairman.
Yeah, but I think he's in charge of finding a successor.
Yeah. God, this is crazy. I don't know. So here's their top pick is Dan Walden, then Josh D'Amaro, Jimmy Pitaro, Alan Bergman. I actually, of all these, I'd go with these two. I'd go with either Alan Bergman or Ted Sarandos, or yes.
Actually, I would say Walden and D'Amaro both, or those two individually.
Yeah. Interesting.
The
Wait,
last
Tim
on
Burton?
there.
Elon Musk and Tim Burton? Come on.
Okay.
Jenny Tartakovsky?
John Lasseter is on there, so there
John
you go.
Lasseter would be a great creative head. He was a great.
But he would not be. I don't think he's CEO.
No, he doesn't have it. Oh my God. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, you can place your bets, people.
Place your bets. I think it's going to be her, and I think that's a terrible decision. But go, do you, Disney. Then we'll have a lot of videos for years to come about all the dumb decisions that Dana Walden is making.
Probably.
So, please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.